योनिजन्मसु.
The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the free modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species.
Text 23. Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwarah paramatmeti chakyukto dehesmin purusha paraha.
Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Supersoul.
Text 24. Ya evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunai saha sarvatha vartamanopi na sabhuyo bhijayate.
One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again regardless of his present position.
Text 25. Dhyanenatmani pashyanti kechid atmanamatmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare.
Some perceive the supersoul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires.
Text 26. Anye tvevam ajanantaha shrutvanebhya upasati tepi chati tarantyeva mrityum shruti parayanaha.
Again, there are those who, although not conversant in his spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death.
Text 27. Yavat sanjayate kinchet sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetragya samyogat tadvidhi bharatashabha.
O chief of the Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field.
Text 28. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinyasyatsvaninashyantam ya pashyati sapashyati.
One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually sees.
Text 29. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitamishwaram nahinasthyatmanatmanam tato yati param gatim.
One who sees super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination.
Text 30. Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashah yaha pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati.
One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees.
Text 31. Yada bhuta prithak bhavam ekastham anupashyati tata eva cha vistaram brahma sampadhyate tada.
When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere.
We lost the sound there for a minute. Mataji, we lost the sound.
Hello, Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Okay, now we can hear you, yes. So
Shall I read it again?
get
31.
to that verse again, yes, please.
Yeah, sorry. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception.
Text 32. Anaditva nirgunatvat paramatmayamavyayah sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate.
Those with a vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled.
Text 33. Yatha sarvagatam sakshmyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatravasthito dehe tathatmanopalipyate.
The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all-pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in the Brahman vision does not mix with a body, though situated in that body.
Text 34. Yatha prakashayati ekaha kritsnam lokam imam raviha kshetram kshetri tatha kritsnam prakashayati bharata.
O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness.
Text 35. Kshetra kshetragyayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye vido yanti te param.
Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attain to the supreme goal. Hare Krishna. And sorry, at the beginning, I think I read text 13 instead of 20, I think. I'm so sorry for that. Hare Krishna.
That's okay, don't worry. I was doing something, I didn't even notice it. But thank you so much, Mataji. Uma Mataji, very nice. Thank you for very eloquent English recitation. And Vinda Devi Mataji, superb. I'm really, really impressed with the pronunciation. You were completely spot on with all the pronunciation of Sanskrit. So very, very nice. Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay, let me just share my screen, my PowerPoint now. Okay. Okay, so we are continuing reading of this wonderful chapter 13. The text today, we'll do the summary first. As usual, text 1 to 7, Arjuna's 6 questions, and then Krishna's partial answers on that. 8 to 12, this wonderful section where Krishna explains the process of knowledge and liberation. 13 to 19, Krishna explaining the object of knowledge. Then up 20 to 26, Krishna is explaining Prakriti, Purusha and their union. Then this last section, we just almost towards the end. Tomorrow is the last text on it. Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge. So Krishna, having described all the details, now he's teaching us how we can see it, how we can use this knowledge to get our vision spiritual. Today's verse, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 34. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yatha Prakashaya. Wrong meter. Yatha Prakashayati Eka. Yatha Prakashayati Eka. Yes. Yatha Prakashayati Eka. No, not Yati Eka, but Yati Eka. Yatha Prakashayati Eka. Krishnam Lokam Imam Ravi. Kshetram Kshetri Tatha Krishnam Prakashayati Bharata. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. So this is another analogy. Yesterday was doing the class. Vrindavan Chandra was doing the class. So you must have gone to the other analogy, the analogy about the sky. The sky is all pervading, and it's because it's so subtle, it does not mix with anything. Similarly here, then actually in that verse, Krishna says something like the soul is in the body, but yet it doesn't mix with the body because it's of a different nature, it's a spiritual nature. So now he's using another analogy here about the sun. So sun, just as the sun is in one corner of the universe, but every planet in the universe is given the light and heat by the same sun. You know, we look at our sun here, we think it's our local sun here, and you know, that's what it's just for the earth. But no, this one sun is illuminating and heating up the whole universe. That's quite incredible when you think about it. And so he says similarly, the soul, very, very tiny soul, is giving consciousness to the whole body. It's a very, very nice analogy here. We'll read the purport. Let's see. Let me just quickly look at who's around here. So I'll go towards the end and let's see. Okay, Premila Mataji, perhaps you can read the purport.
Thank you, Prabhuji. There are various theories regarding consciousness. Here in Bhagavad Gita, the example of the sun and the sunshine is given. As the sun is situated in one place but is illuminating the whole universe, so a small particle of spirit soul, although situated in the heart of this body, is illuminating the whole body of consciousness. Thus, consciousness is the proof of the presence of the soul, as sunshine or light is the proof of the presence of the sun. When the soul is present in the body, there is consciousness all over the body. And as soon as the soul has passed from the body, there is no more consciousness. This can be easily understood by any intelligent man. Therefore, consciousness is not a product of the combination of matter. It is the symptom of the living entity. The consciousness of the living entity, although qualitatively one with the supreme consciousness, is not supreme, because the consciousness of one particular body does not share that of another body. But the supersoul, which is situated in all bodies as the friend of the individual soul, is conscious of all bodies. That is the difference between supreme consciousness and individual consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhupada Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charu Swami Niti Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhashate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So as usual, we'll take the main points for the beautiful purport. So first of all, Prabhupada is saying there are various theories regarding consciousness. So we can just have a quick look at that. So according to the scientists, what is consciousness? Can anybody, maybe there's some scientists on the group, anybody, what do the scientists say? What is consciousness? Okay, so this is what I found. Consciousness is generated, they say, this is what they say, it's generated by electrical and chemical signals between neurons. So according to them, consciousness has got nothing to do with the soul or the spirit. They say that when the body of a living being, when the embryo reaches a certain stage of growth, automatically there's these signals between the signals, electrical signals between the neurons. And this is where the consciousness wakes up just by its own, nothing to do with God, nothing to do with anything. It is just a very, very material thing. This is what they're saying, right? But we can then argue and then say that how can consciousness come from matter? Has there ever been, because when scientists, first of all, scientists, they believe, of course, they believe in facts, they say, right? They say they believe in facts. And one definition of science, what is science? Bhakticharu Maharaj always used to give this definition of the science. He used to say science means experimentally verified fact. Yeah, this is what science is. So then they're saying that this consciousness is coming because of these signals between their neurons. So where is it? How can they prove it? There's no way that the matter is fundamentally inert. There's no way that matter can do anything without spirit helping it take form. So it doesn't seem to have any, they don't seem to have any basis, but this is the best they can do. But they still admit also that they don't fully understand where it actually comes and how it happens. But here's a very, very proper Vedic conclusion, right? Consciousness is a symptom of the presence of the soul within the body. This is what the Vedas say. The soul is defined as a non-material, eternal, spiritual living entity present within any living being, whether it's trees, insects, birds, humans, whatever. The soul continues to exist after the destruction of the body, and it existed prior to the creation of the body. The material body develops changes and produces byproducts, offspring, because of the presence of the soul within. So very, very clear. Material body deteriorates in due course of time And when it is no longer a suitable residence for the soul, it leaves the body. This is what we call death. So you see how precise the Vedas are. The scientists are baffling for decades, centuries perhaps, trying to figure out this. But we have it, the information is there. And they will never find it because it doesn't exist in matter. They will never raise their vision beyond matter because that's what they are stuck in. They don't believe in anything spiritual. That's why they will never find it. And this last point, talking about the soul leaving the body when the body is not suitable, that's explained again in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 22, I believe. Vasam sejena niyatha vihaya navani grenani navani dehi navani grenani naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jenani anyani samyati navani dehi. That says, just as a person puts on new garments, discarding the old ones, the soul takes on new material bodies, discarding the old useless ones. So this is the proof that the soul existed always. It existed before, it existed during our time, and it will exist afterwards. Prabhupada continues in the purport. Here in Bhagavad Gita, the example of the sun and the sunshine is given. As the sun is situated in one place but is illuminating the whole universe, so a small particle of spirit soul, although situated in the heart of this body, is illuminating the whole body by consciousness. Let me just make sure that everybody is muted. So there you go. You got this the analogy here explained in the purport as well. The sun is heating up and lighting up this huge universe with thousands and millions of planets. And similarly, this tiny little soul is lighting up, is giving the consciousness to the whole body. The sun, a beautiful verse in the Brahma Samhita about the sun. Yachakshure savita sakala grahanam Raja samasta suramurti rasesha teja yasya gyaya brahmati sambrita kala chakra govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The sun, full of infinite effulgence, who is the king of all planets and the image of the good soul, is like the eye of this world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. So here in this, Lord Brahma is informing us that the sun gets all its power from the Lord. But the sun is glorified here as the eye of this world. Because without the sun, we can't see a thing. We can't see anything. Somebody may say, oh, we can put the lights on and see, but even the energy that the light is getting from, ultimately it's from the sun, whichever way you look at it. So we're talking about a small particle of the spirit soul. So there's a beautiful couple of verses. They're actually in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but they're from the Upanishads, places like this. So two very similar verses which we can quote about the size of the soul. So, Balagra Sata Bhagasya Sata Diya Kalpitasya Cha Bhago Jiva Satikyeya Iti Chaha Parashrutihi. If we divide the tip of a hair into 100 parts, I don't have any hair to demonstrate, but the tip of our hair will be so tiny that you can't, there's no way you can divide it into 100. But then only that, then again divided into another 100 parts. That 1/10,000th part is a dimension of the living entity. This is the verdict of the chief of the mantras. This is from the Svetasvatara Upanishad. So you can see how tiny. That's why the scientists, because they will never see it, because it is smaller than an atom, they cannot see it. That's why they will not believe in it. Again, in Chaitanya Charita, same, the other verse is given as keshagrasata bhagasya satamsa sadrishatmaka jivan shukshma swarupoyam sankhayatito hi chit kanaha. If you divide the tip of a hair into 100 parts and then take one of these parts and divide it again into 100 parts, that very fine division is the size of but one of the numberless living entities. They are all chit kana, particles of spirit, not matter. This is from one of the purports from Bhagavatam. So here is a balagra. Balagra, actually two words. Bala means hair. Of course, we know bal is hair. Bal agra. Agra is the tip, the foremost part, agra. And the other verse is klesha agra. So klesha, not klesha, kesha. Kesha again we know is hair. Kesha agra, keshagra. So because of the sandhi, with there are two A's, the kesha has an A and agra has an A. So it's two A's becomes an A. So that's kesha agra. So of course we can't divide the tip of the hair into these fine particles, but spiritually they can exist. This is what we have to believe from the Shastras. So you can see that the spiritual power is just amazing, that this little tiny spark, right, which we can't even see, it is given the consciousness to the ant, to the living being, to the elephant, and also to Lord Brahma. So it doesn't matter where, it's the same living soul. It's not that the soul of the elephant is bigger and Brahma's soul is bigger. No, it's the same soul, same 1/10,000th part of the tip of a hair. That is the size of the soul in every living entity, including Lord Brahma. So you can imagine how potent this spirit spark is. So nothing that we can compare with, nothing that a scientist can ever grapple with. Right? So there's three ways of gaining knowledge. Now here, this is where, because we're wondering how do we, sometimes people say it's there, but how do we believe it, right? Did you go backwards? Yeah, I did. Three ways of gaining knowledge. Can anybody tell me what these three ways are? They come up often in Prabhupada's classes and also other people's classes. They're called pramana, three pramanas. I'm sure Bhakti Shastris, where are you? Pramana, three types of pramana. Let's have a look at them. First is pratyaksha pramana. So direct sense perception. Seeing is believing. This is what they say. So this is more or less a scientist vision. Pratyaksha, everything has to be proven. Everything has, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. This is okay, but that's one way. It is a legitimate way of gaining knowledge. We do that. We sometimes see, and we make our mind up by what we see, right? But that's one. The second way of pramana. So this is also called an empirical approach. Empirical is literally you believe what you see, otherwise you don't. So it's an empirical approach. Then other is anuman pramana. Anuman, we know this word, anuman is hypothesis. So depending on some facts which are in front of us, we can extend that and say, okay, if this is this and this is this, I believe this will be this. So that's hypothesis. So here in this picture is a very famous analogy of how 6 blind men were taken to an elephant to describe. They've never seen an elephant before. They're blind. So they're describing it and how, depending on where they are, one person sees it as a snake because it's holding the trunk. The person who's holding the leg it's a tree. The person on the side is saying it's a wall. The one who's holding the tail is saying it's a rope. So like this. This is the anuman. They're making the anuman by what they have in front of them, whatever the facts they have. They're saying this is what it is. Anuman. Again, first of all, pratyaksha, a little bit dangerous because sometimes all that you see may not be there or it may not be correct. You could get it wrong. Here, anuman also, you may have some bits of evidence in front of you, but you could get it completely wrong because our senses themselves are not perfect. So we are bound to make mistakes. This is the four defects of a human being are.
Make
Bhagavati Mataji,
mistakes.
say again.
Make mistakes.
Yeah, make mistakes.
Be cheated.
Yeah,
Be in illusion.
yeah, and be cheated, and also the senses are imperfect, right?
Perfect.
Senses are imperfect, or prone to make mistakes. We have the propensity to be cheated and cheat. And last one was
Be in illusion.
illusion, exactly, and we're in illusion. So these are because of that, Hanuman, the rational approach doesn't work always because our senses are not perfect, right? So that's the rational approach. And I'll give you one quick example about how Hanuman goes wrong. A funny thing that happened to us. I probably shared it in my classes before, so people in my Sangha would probably know about it. But about 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago maybe, I was in hospital having or preparing for a heart operation. So one of the things that they did was the day before or so, they were doing all the different tests, and they wheeled me into the X-ray room, and they did the X-rays and everything, and then they wheeled me out, and they were waiting for the porter to come back and take me back to the ward. And of course, this is before the operation, so I was feeling quite okay. So I said to the nurse, "Don't worry, I don't wait. I can just walk to the ward." They said, "No, you can't do that. You will have to wait for the porter." And my wife was waiting also by my side. So we were waiting. There was some problem. So anyway, this lady, 2-3 times she made the phone calls. Then she came back to me, and then she says to Padmamalini, to my wife, she says, "Don't worry, we'll get your dad back to the ward soon." So you imagine, so there she is. She's made Hanuman, rational reasoning. She looked at this person lying in the trolley, his hospital trolley, white hair or no hair, and there's a Padmamali who's blessed with young looks. So she decided that she is my daughter. So this is how the Hanuman can go wrong so badly for us, right? Just an example. Then the final way of gaining knowledge is Shabda Praman, this hearing from authorized sources. So either through acharyas or through scriptures. So by authorized scriptures, we can get the Shabda Pramana. So out of these three, which do you think is the most powerful, most surest?
Shabda.
Shabda 3, number 3.
Yeah, so there's no way. Now the point is, this is why the scientists are always baffled with all those things, because they will never raise their. If you want to see the sun, you have to raise your eyes up towards the sun. If you want to then understand something spiritual, you need to raise your vision above matter and think about spirit. Otherwise, you're never going to get it. So we, as spirit souls, we belong to the spiritual realm. And according to that, if you want to get spiritual knowledge, we need to raise our vision to the spiritual. Otherwise, we will not be able to progress. This is something very important. Scriptural approach. That's the best way. Prabhupada says the difference between he's talking about the difference between the supreme consciousness and individual consciousness. So some transcendentalists claim that the soul and the super soul are absolutely one and the same. So until you come to the proper knowledge, you don't really know. Most of us, I did until I came to ISKCON, I never realized there was two souls. I always thought there was the one soul. But and people also believe, especially the impersonalists, they believe that the soul is the same. And it's just that because it's covered by Maya right now, illusion, is covered by illusion. But once the illusion is gone, then they become the super soul themselves. This is their conclusion. The Vedic conclusion, individual soul and the super soul are two different entities which are similar in their spiritual natures, but distinct in their quantitative function. So they are similar in one sense by their nature, but by quantity, they're definitely not the same. And what is that philosophy called?
Achinta Veda Veda.
Yes, thank you, Ajay Mukund Prabhu. Achinta Veda Ved Tattva. So simultaneously the same, so inconceivably simultaneously same and different at the same time. This is the philosophy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so nicely propagated. So this particular verse appears also in Shvetatasvara Upanishad and also Mundaka Upanishad. Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno nishayaya shochiti muhya manaha justam yada pashyatyanam isham yasya mahimanam iti vita shloka. Although the two birds are the same tree, the eating bird is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness as an enjoyer of the fruits of the tree. But if in some way or other he turns his face to his friend, who is the Lord, and knows his glories, at once the suffering bird becomes free from anxieties. So this is again the Upanishads explaining there's two souls. There's a big difference with the two souls. It's not the same. Verses in the Bhagavad Gita confirming about the presence of the soul. Very famous verse. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mata smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedaishcha sarvairaham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. The Lord says, I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and knower of the Vedas. 1861. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridesher junatishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as in a machine made from material energy. So you see, devotees, we don't need to go looking for proof. We don't need to go and do all the different things people do, spending years and years and doing all the kind of research. Research has already been done. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. Acharyas have given us this knowledge. So we will be wise to accept it from the Shastras as Shabda Praman, rather than wasting a lot of time, not ours, but everybody else's. So I will stop here and just want to quickly once again, because it's December, we always need to make sure that we got book distribution in the forefront of our minds. Like I was saying last time, if this was normal times, we wouldn't be having classes, we would be on the streets. Normally in December, we don't have our Sangha. Instead of going to Sangha, we would actually go out on the streets. So we'll just have a quick recap on what's happening. So first of all, I just wanted to announce about this wonderful Art of Sankirtan session on the 20th of December from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. by our dear Antaranga Das, Antaranga Prabhu, who gave last Wednesday, he was Wednesday or Thursday, he was giving a class to us. Very learned devotee, so he's going to give us some tip on Art of Sankirtan. So if you can please make a note of this date, 20th of December. One other thing I wanted to say, these books are not actually for distribution. These are for us. These are for devotees to learn. So the first one is When the Sun Shines by Ranchor Prime. This book is actually very interesting. I haven't read it. I'm going to get it myself because Ranchor Prime Prabhu, he was one of the very early devotees in the UK. And this book talks about the history of ISKCON in the UK from the beginning, from the time when those 6 devotees arrived. So devotees, you can get these books for yourselves. You'll find it very interesting. The other one is Family Business. This is a very famous book by Vaisheshika Prabhu, talking about Sankirtan all the time. That's the main subject. So they're £15 each or 25 for both together. So if anybody wants that, you can get in touch with us. Now, Live2Give. This is the campaign we started a few weeks ago. A lot of you are already doing a lot of work on this, which I really am we are very grateful for that. It's going along nicely, but we still are way behind in terms of our target. which is not unusual because it happens usually the last few days of the marathon, bring a lot of fruits. So, but we need to keep reminding each other that we need to still keep doing this. I think all of us are very familiar with these packages, and try and get as many sponsors as possible of the Bhagavad Gitas, so we can try and hit our targets here. We have to remind whenever we're doing this, the phone calls for the Live2Give, we need to remind people about this wonderful opportunity about the Mahayagya. Their names will be recited at this Mahayagya at Kurukshetra on the 25th of December, which is actually Gita Jayanti. So you can give them that wonderful information. And also, the same day at the Manor, we'll have our wonderful Sutapa Prabhu, Radha Govind Prabhu, and Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Prabhu reciting all 700 verses. And we are hoping to get up to 10,000 people on the call there. So that names of people also will be announced, will be offered in the yagya there. So some wonderful opportunities that we can speak about. One more slide I think I had. Yeah, how to become involved. So all these initiatives, Gita, we spoke about corporate outreach. We've spoken about making phone calls to all the people in the database, grocery stores, restaurants, children's Gita competition, World Gita that we spoke about already. These are the details of the well-being pack. So what I wanted to do was, once again, we spoke a little bit about, the main thing, because of the lockdown, the only way we can reach people is phone calls or otherwise. What I did a few days ago is I invited 6 or 7 of my friends. I picked them up from my book. People who are spiritual, they may not be sort of practicing Krishna consciousness, but at least I know they're spiritual. Or people who are new, had money, and also they were charitable. So I then got them on a Zoom call, actually, rather than call them separately. I got them on a Zoom call, and on the Zoom call, I did this kind of presentation to them, going through the Gita project, and fortunately for me, all 4 of them actually came through. So that's one other idea that you can do, rather than making phone calls separately, which would take all the time. You could get your friends to come on a Zoom call, and within 20 minutes, you will have all of them informed about what we are doing, and you'll be surprised how effective it is. Because when it's on a Zoom call like that, one big advantage I found was that at the end of my presentation, I just spoke to the one I knew who was most likely to go with it. And once he said yes, the others basically followed. Some may have followed just because they had to, because somebody else said yes. So this is just something else that we can think about. What else? We got wonderful devotees here. Palika Mataji, Hema Mataji, Bhagwati Mataji. I'm sorry, other names I'm not naming, but I know a lot of you are doing this. So you can maybe share something new that you have sort of discovered over the last few days, something that's really worked well for you. Any one of them, Palika Mataji, Hema Mataji, Bhagwati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You're mute again.
Hare Krishna. It's
Yes,
Bhagwati here.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
I mean, I've been trying all the numbers and trying to get as many as I could. In the end, I ran out of names, and you can say, so what I tried that last few days, that whoever has sponsored, I was asking them, phoning them up and saying, could you give me at least 4 or 5 numbers as a referral that you think somebody is as good as your pure soul,
Yeah.
And that's how they gave me another 4 to 5 numbers. Some gave me 2 numbers, and I called them and I said, look, so-and-so person has given me your number. They have sponsored Bhagavad Gita. How would you do? What do you think? And they said, oh, really? Rashmi has done it? Oh, really? Bharti has done it? I said, yes, please. Would you like to? And they said, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, wonderful.
So maybe out of 5, you get 2, or out of 5, you get 3. It depends.
Yeah,
so that's how I increase the numbers in getting more names, you see.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. That's a very nice idea. See, getting just the names is one thing, but then you can utilize that by referring that because of friends who actually done it, and that gives them encouragement also. That nice. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? One thing I keep saying is, yeah, don't worry. Just keep calling, because all you can, the worst that can happen is they say no. But the fact that you have made the call, we have made spiritual progress just by making the calls, because our spiritual bank account is credited just by the effort. Don't worry about the results. So keep making the calls and results will come.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So I had good success, but lately I've been ringing a few other people, and they were very interested. They asked me for the link, but are not donating. So I kind of have tried 4 or 5 times to message them and keep them in the loop. But I think I'm going to give up on them now. So, but it's okay. It's okay. You can have few which are not successful.
You have some negatives, and that's part of the game. So yeah, don't worry about that. But this is the effort you're making. That is what really counts. One thing that we want to call up, I forget who it was on Sunday. Somebody mentioned that calling corporates. So I know in the beginning we did that, and there was one Mataji who within 2 or 3 hours she had 10 corporate clients who really signed up. So maybe this is something that we are forgetting. Perhaps maybe if especially the seasoned people, seasoned devotees like yourself, Hema Mataji, Bhagavati Mataji, perhaps maybe you can keep maybe look at that. Any for that matter, any of there's 44 of us here. Any of us, if you have some context, if you are working in a situation where you're in touch with a lot of companies, small companies, you can, because all these companies, they have a budget. They have a budget for donations. So you can, and for us, we're asking for very little compared to what budgets they would have. So you can,
I've tried a few companies in London, but you need to have a contact name. You can't just have a blindfold. What's
certainly,
it called?
Contact name does help.
As you say, someone working in that company, and if they have a well-being lead number or name, then that helps. Otherwise, it's difficult.
Yeah.
If in our group, if you have some names, if some people have some business or corporate names, can they pass it to us? We will make calls if they're shy to make calls. You see,
very good idea.
If someone can give us the names, and we will try to call them as far as possible.
Excellent idea. So devotees, one thing we must remember. Okay, we are trying. This is not idea is not to raise money, because we're not trying to make any money here, right? The books are more or less are going to go at cost. What we're trying to do is to spread the knowledge. We're trying to give the wisdom of this Bhagavad Gita and all the wonderful books that the Prabhupada has given us. We're trying to spread the vision, the knowledge, wisdom to as far as possible. So we actually one thing we must remind ourselves is that we're not begging. We're not begging. We are not out there. We are actually doing them a favor. I know it doesn't sound right when you put it like that, but it is true. By giving them the opportunity by giving them the exposure to Srila Prabhupada's books, they will gain so much that we have no idea. They cannot even measure it.
Mukunda-Hari Prabhu. Mukunda-Hari Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. The lady just spoke about, I forget her name. Said you just can't call them with no prior introduction or whatever connection. Yes. I just wondered if, you see, we have this Janmashtami magazine with a vast advertising section there.
Good point.
And lots of corporate names there. Now with that, obviously, when we talk about it, from Hare Krishnas, and then this is the reason for phoning, I think that could make the job much easier, I would imagine.
That's
and perhaps we were trying.
That's a very good idea. Very good idea.
Rajnikant Prabhu, that's a brilliant idea. Brilliant. So, Hema Mataji, Bhagavati Mataji, do you have the Janmashtami magazine?
No, I don't have one at present. No, Prabhuji.
Okay,
If they can even make a picture of it or photo, photo
Yeah,
things
yeah.
of it. We'll just take
what-
10 names at a time.
Yeah, what I will do is I'll try and arrange as quickly as possible.
Please,
All
yeah.
that-
Okay.
some, I'm sure, in the stores. At least we can get a few copies out to people who are nearby, and we can start tomorrow. That's a wonderful idea, actually.
Very good idea. Yes.
And the other one, Prabhuji,
yeah, so I'll organize that, and then
just one more, just to
Yeah.
stretch the situation further.
Yeah.
Lalit Bhai has always been in contact and with the Lohana Mahajan and,
Yeah.
and arranging these talks for them.
Yeah.
Lohana Mahajan has got, Lohana Community, North London, has got annual Diwali magazine, which also has got a lot of sponsors, advertisers, corporate advertisers there as well.
Yeah.
So we can get those additional names.
Yes, yes, because these are all pious people who donated before, right? So that's good.
Precisely.
Yes, I will do that, definitely. So nice, very nice ideas came out. Fantastic. So we just got a very few days left now, and let's put all our efforts into it. Everybody, it's like Lord Ram when he was trying to build a setu. We have big devotees on this group here. I will not name them because I don't want to embarrass them, but who are like Hanuman and the Vanar Sena carrying huge boulders. But then we can all do our own bit by carrying little pebbles like the squirrels. At the end of the day, they all add up. They all add up. So just remind yourselves that, look, number one, we're not begging. We're not trying to make any money. We are trying to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, and we are trying to please Krishna and our Guru. So it's a service we're doing. There's no shame in it, because if I was out begging for myself, of course, I'd be very ashamed. But I'm not. And I'm not even begging. We're asking for donations so people would make, and in return, we're giving them something invaluable. So let's just keep that in mind.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I was just thinking about that issue about phoning for other people's contact. It could ruin Casey's reputation, really, if they get cross and say, "How did you get my number?" and that kind of thing. So we have to be careful. No, I don't mean to be critical to that Mataji, because I had the same idea to jointly do it with a friend, we both had the ideas to share, but then we realized through some advice not to do it.
Okay, so I think
not that way, so and just a matter of caution, that's all.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jyoti Mataji. Yes, but I think, like, if people have given the names, then you're safe, because you're saying you're not completely cold calling. You're saying that I got your name from so and so. So that way, it's a little bit safer. But yeah, we do take your point. We got to take everything carefully. We don't want to upset people. We don't want to create a negative.
Totally, yes,
yeah, totally. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Sometimes we are in breach of information, of freedom of information.
Yes, that's right.
So that is why we are not doing it in South London like that. And we started, but people were not very happy.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good point, Vishal.
So so we just stopped doing it, because we only are doing to people who we know.
Yeah.
It's data protection as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Although none of us are, there's no confidentiality nowadays.
Yeah. No, that's a good point people are making, because I'll need to also check with the manor in terms of this GDPR, because they've given us their name not for cold calling, and then there may be an issue. But I will check that out on my side. But thank you for it. You see, once the ideas are out, okay, some of them may not work for legal reasons, but at least we have tried. That's the main thing.
Can you make that magazine a bit public to our chat group, please?
That magazine is a very big, thick magazine. I don't think it'll be in a soft form. It'll be a hard copy.
All right. I see. Is that the yearly magazine?
The Janmashtami book, right?
Yes. I might have an old one. Yes.
Actually, yeah. If you have an old one, the same people normally advertise year after year.
Yes, but it might be out of date. You never know.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, never mind. It's
But
worth a try.
see, good point that Vishalini Mataji make is before we start calling for that magazine, let's just get ourselves clear on the GDPR rules in terms of using data.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hare Krishna. Yes, yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
But Prabhuji,
Hare
if they're
Krishna.
if
Hare
they're
Krishna, Prabhuji.
they're
Yeah,
advertised,
we
Prabhuji,
don't have
that
to
means
disclose.
there is no GDPR there because it's advertised.
That's
You
right.
see,
Yeah.
there is no GDP because otherwise it won't be open to the market, you see.
Yes.
So, I mean, even to referrals, when we are asking referrals, there's nothing to do with GDPR because in my finance, I use the same way, asking a couple of people, would you like to recommend some people, you see?
Yeah, see,
And that's how.
Personal recommendations definitely do not fall under GDPR. And you're probably right. You're probably right in terms of this, because this is an advertise, this is public ads. It's not information that we're using from within the Manna database. We're using the information which is already public. So you're right. It could be okay, but at least we'll still double check that, and then at least we'll try and get the magazines over, at least to you and a few people who are nearby the Manna to start on it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you. So devotees, I'm sorry I didn't allow any time for questions on the class. Did anybody have anything in particular to point out?
I have.
Rajni, yes.
You mentioned about this. I missed it slightly, but I think you said about the scientists talk about some signals, electric signals or whatever, to determine
consciousness.
Consciousness, yes. But do they ask themselves, where does the signal come from? The source of that signal.
So this is it. What they say is that at a certain stage of the development of the fetus, automatically the electrical signals start to happen between neurons. They say automatically, and then that's consciousness. So this is what I'm saying. Their understanding is very simple in that sense, right? They're not looking any further. They can't explain any further. They will not be able to explain any further, as I was saying.
Yeah. So that's a very, very narrow definition, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. With these things, they can be always there. Thank you, Rajni. By the way, Rajni, I haven't seen you on this call before. Is it the first time, or is it you've been before?
It's the first time, actually. It's why I haven't been. I'm so intrigued that I'm missing all this wonderful talk that you are giving us. It is so enriching.
Not just me. I'm doing only one. I used to do twice a week. Now I'm dropped down to once a week because my other services. But I'm doing only once a week. But we got some amazing, much better speakers than me. So we should log in every day if you can at this time, 7:45.
Yes, I think it's absolute must for anybody. So thank you, Prabhu, for it's really.
Just to introduce you to the rest of the team, we got a very nice family, as you know. Here we always 40, 50 of us every day is the same names, so we're like a family now. So Rajni Bhai, welcome to the family of Chad. Rajni Bhai is part of our Sangha, East Coast Sangha, and he was amazing when we came to book distribution. He was a top distributor in our group. He used to go into people's homes, and he used to not come out until they took a book. He was very, very persistent and wonderful book distributor. So
it's all Krishna, Prabhu, Krishna. It's all Krishna.
Rajni Bhai, now you got just a few days left, but you should now put your name on and get onto this calling. For at least get 10 names. I'll speak to you separately about it.
I will definitely move on to this. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
And start the corporates and so on.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you for encouraging me, Prabhu.
Thank you. And anybody else? Okay. If there's nothing else, then please wish everybody a safe week, safe days ahead. Be careful. Take a lot of care, and we'll see you. Well, you will be on the call tomorrow, but I'll see you all on next Tuesday. So
just one thing, Prabhu, Mukunda-Hari Prabhu.
Yes.
If we use this Hare Krishna's Janmashtami magazine for these corporate names, we just have to be careful because a lot of us keep phoning the same company.
Oh yeah. So we'll have to do, maybe leave it to 1 or 2 people and divide them. Good point.
Or immediately circulate on our WhatsApp that I've called this company.
Okay.
So be careful if you repeat again to the same company. You got to be very careful. Otherwise, I could get upset, you see.
Good point. Good point. Thank you. We'll take care of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, let me just stop sharing this.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
devotees, thank you very much. All glories
Hare
to
Krishna,
Wonderful,
Prabhuji.
wonderful session, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.